Hey guys, Nolen and Jason here with Roofing Webmasters.
Howdy.
Today will be an interesting one. I was looking at a website and it was so stupid that
You sent me the screenshot.
it was so dumb that I had to make a talk about it. So today's topic is why our roofer marketing agency is better than a generic catch-all agency. So meaning roofing is one of our major specialties we've done for 13 years. We're very familiar with working with roofers.
Right.
So the site I went and looked at was for a. There was more than one thing wrong with those three statements, by the way. It's minute stuff, but the roofers appreciate it.
Yeah.
So it said, "Oh, we specialize in commercial roofing," and whoever wrote it put 3 bullet points down. First one was TPO roofing. Okay, maybe, but I would like to see it split into like single ply coatings and other types of roofing.
Right.
But they put these as 3 types together. The second one was PPC roofing.
That one, because of the other issue on this page, I didn't even notice that until you pointed it out.
It's ridiculous.
Because I was looking at something that was a hugely glaring issue that I saw, and then you pointed that out, and I started laughing.
Well, they probably meant PVC.
Yeah, probably.
But since they're marketing people, they put pay-per-click or
Yeah.
PPC roofing.
Well, I told you my theory is that it was an autocorrect from their phone or laptop or whatever.
Could have been, but they
Because
also...
it's used to them typing in PPC.
I think they're used to hearing PPC. So
Yeah.
they heard PVC, and they're like, well, PPC.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Pay-per-click roofing.
The third one was flat top roofing. Now, if somebody says the word flat roof, a roofer knows what it means, but there's technically not supposed to be that thing. It's a
Yeah.
low slope roof.
Yeah, but everybody just says flat.
It's okay to say flat, but to say flat top,
That's weird.
it's weird, and it doesn't. And now the bigger issue with this stuff is, and there was other problems with this agency that wrote this site. I don't even remember where I got that from. I was just looking at it and I was like,
You just sent it to me.
I was like, good God, that's appalling. And I sent it off to you. And but they had other issues. But there was no content. There was no understanding of content. The content that was up there was weird. Even if you didn't know roofing,
Yeah.
it was weird.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
And like the H1 on any site, it's like the bold, it's the title of the page, right? At the top of the page. And it's supposed to be a declaration. This is what the page is about. And the H1 had been keyword stuff.
I'll read it.
Yeah, go ahead, because it's hilarious.
We offer commercial roofing services in Rockwall, Rowlett, Trophy Club. Okay, maybe on the stuffing, because the stuffing even gets off here.
Yeah.
The stuffing is bad, by the way.
Yeah.
You cannot.
you can't just
You
list
can't
every
do
city
this,
and
but it
service.
gets worse. It's worse than stuffing. Rockwall, Rowlett, Trophy Club. Well, I'm sorry. It only is okay to Rockwall and Rowlett. They're next to each other.
You could do 2. Yeah. You can get away with...
That's not what I'm getting at. Trophy Club's on the other side is in Tarrant County.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about
Rockwall is in Rockwall County. Rowlett is in Dallas County, which is close enough to Rockwall
that. Yeah.
to say it together. But once you go Trophy Club, Keller, Southlake, and you went over here in Dallas.
You went 40 or 50 miles.
You jumped up here, then you went down here, Southlake, Hazlitt, Frisco, back up to Collin County, which these guys know Frisco because it's on the hail trace all the time.
Yeah.
Little Elm, boom, and all of North Texas. So this is just, this guy's the general catch-all agency is just a general dumbass as well. Yeah. So his inability to understand a topic and then to do this stuff, the keyword stuffing is straight up against Google's rules.
Yeah.
But when somebody, so, we use...
Well, the point I was about to make is that the H1 was as long as the paragraph under it. Which it's supposed to be a brief
There was shallow,
statement.
there's shallow content, improper content, keyword stuffing. The keyword stuffing alone, albeit already against the rules, was idiotic in the stuffing.
Was badly done, even by keyword stuffing standards.
Correct. Correct. From our perspective, that's ridiculous. And from y'all's perspective, PPC roofing and flat top roofing, that's like, I don't
PPC is just wrong and flat top is
It's
odd.
worded weird.
It's
okay to say.
That sounds like someone who doesn't know the subject.
Even roofers will say flat roofs.
Yeah.
But not everybody runs around saying low slope.
Although every once in a while when I'm talking to a roofer, if I mention flat roofing, well, it's actually, just like what you said, it's actually a low slope roof.
We do know.
Yeah, yes, Bob, I know.
Nolen Walker here for Roofers Paradise. Thank you for checking out our podcast here for Roofing Webmasters, where we talk about nothing but marketing. But I'd love for you to check out Roofers Paradise, where I personally interview and talk with roofers. We talk about their successes, their failures, their dreams, their goals and ambitions. It's a great podcast where we actually speak to roofers. Love to have you check out Roofers Paradise. You can find us on YouTube by searching Roofers Paradise. Any platform for podcasts, search Roofers Paradise. Be sure to subscribe, or you can actually go to roofersparadise.show. Look forward to having you over at Roofers Paradise. But so let's talk about some other stuff we know and why it matters to the roofer. For I do want to reiterate, the generalist is generally just doesn't know anything.
Right.
So we've taken time and effort to educate ourselves and educate the staff. I always tell people, I haven't done a ton of this, but I've walked on roofs with a parapet, roofs without. They both scared me, but I did it. I have sprayed foam and hand-welded PVC, and I've talked to roofers every day for freaking ever, like for 13 years. So categories that we know about, like I know what single plies are. I know that we do a single ply section. We have a single ply page, a PVC page, TPO, and EPDM page.
Right.
We have a roof coatings page. We'll have a section for the types of coatings like polyurea, silicone, elastomeric. Anyway, so all those will be split. We'll talk about built-up roofs and flat roofs. We'll usually use the word flat roofs actually because it's more typed in by the client.
Yeah, exactly. That's while low slope might be proper, the client will say flat.
But flat top is just idiotic.
Yeah, no one says that.
Yeah, nobody says that.
And just so anybody listening understands why it matters beyond just being correct. If your site says flat top roof and people are searching flat roof, to Google, those don't match. And so you're less likely to show.
It's less relevant to search. And one thing, you might have a great marketing agency that doesn't know this stuff. And we'll write a TPO page, for example, if a guy does commercial, because one TPO roof could pay for us for, I don't even know, for like 10 years. Could pay our bill.
Like a big old warehouse?
Yeah, a big TPO job could pay for us just one. Will they get as much calls on a TPO page? No. Would they get a TPO call without a TPO page? No.
Precisely.
So
it's so specific that they won't.
Same thing for silicone or acrylic or elastomeric or a cool roof or whatever type of roof situation is going on, an industrial roof. If it's residential, if it's roof insurance claims help, or synthetic slate or Da Vinci or just anything, architectural shingles, type of shingle, composition shingle, even repair, install estimates, they're not going to send somebody to your website for a bullet point or a little paragraph, one page with everything on it, because it doesn't match up enough with user intent. So Google only guesses that you guys are roofers, a roofing contractor, might do roof repair and roof install, and they might guess you work on a shingle. They'll give people that.
Because shingle is so basic.
Most roofers will install a shingle unless they're commercial. But the algorithm knows this, but the algorithm doesn't know what type of materials you use, what type of situations you work with, roof insurance claims help, slate roofs,
what kind of
cedar
brands?
shake. Brands, they don't know any of that. So when we go through it, and the writers write all the time, and we know how to structure the websites, you get way more potential keyword rankings. Your site's devoid of them currently without this being written well, and now all of a sudden there's literally up to thousands of more keywords, as evidenced by the Google analytics tools and stuff that you can prove it, show it.
Yeah.
So they won't know, for example, on your TPO page, if you work with, Mulehide or Firestone or, GAF or Conklin TPO. So, and then we give you tools like data pins to help you expand that. Just installed a Firestone TPO for a general contractor and, hotel job or whatever. So the GC required Firestone TPO, and you talked about it. And Google, it's important because Google's like, oh, we didn't know there's a Firestone TPO installer in this area.
Yeah.
This guy's looking for one. And you talked about it on a pin on your TPO page. So you have a relevant page of content that's been expanded.
You did that like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And no one else has any other information about it. You're the guy.
They spidered a 10-word caption you made with data pens, which is a software tool that we made in a different company specifically for roofers and contractors. Nolen Walker here for data pens. You may not know, but I own a software company, and we have a proprietary software called Data Pens, DATAPINS. You can search it at datapens.com. This is not white labeled. I actually own this piece of software and I made it for you. It was made for contractors. You can actually take pictures of jobs up to 6, make a caption about the material, the brand, the situation, the repairs, and post that back to your individual pages on your website just like that. It's super simple. Anyone could use it. It also texts and emails your clients direct links to your reviews, so it helps reputation and reviews, which helps conversion and map placement. The geo coordinate gets grabbed by data pens and Google can tell where you are. So instead of them just seeing reviews, they see all jobs or even estimates that you do. This vastly outperforms just getting reviews. Helps the map show up, helps organic keywords. And remember, those captions that you're putting in there help expand the keywords per page, and it's great regular content. I love it. We made it just for you. It is organic optimization on steroids for both your website, your rankings, and the map placement. Check out Data Pens. I think you'll be happy you did. We make city pages. We just don't keyword stuff it like a moron.
Yeah.
And violate Google's search algorithm and prevent it from showing up in the search rankings.
And you know, if you came to us and said, I want Rowlett, Rockwall, Keller, Trophy Club, and this, we would tell you why that won't work.
We would have said, okay.
We need to pick a contiguous group to start.
What Jason said. So I'd love to expand that. So they'll say they're in Rockwall. We just had a client sign up in Rockwall.
Oh, yeah.
He made some comments like this about, and this may have been where I saw it. Wasn't his site, I don't think. I don't know. Or if it is, we're fixing it. Yeah, this would have been.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, before his previous site before us.
Yeah.
So that Rockwall would be what he'd stand down on for mapping in his local, like I'm located here.
Yeah.
And then he would expand to Rowlett, Heath, Garland,
maybe
Mesquite, Richardson, and then he'd bump up towards Collin County a little bit and hit Plano, McKinney,
Plano,
Frisco, Allen. And then he'd be pulling this little spot around there, Red Oak maybe. So he'd pull this little area, but it's in that contiguous area. North Texas is so large with 8 million or something, they won't give you the whole metro area anymore.
Yeah.
And Southlake, Colleyville, Keller, Trophy Club, and all this other Hazlitt, that's on the other side of town. So he had all this stuff over, and there's just some knob. This is just, we wouldn't do this in like, I can't hardly pick another area. It's like, you're not going to go into Houston and talk about, we service roofing in Rosenberg and the Woodlands, because one's down here and everybody'd be like, "Rrr?" Your brain would just be like,
LaPorte, Woodlands, and Sugarland.
Yeah. And you're located in Magnolia or something. So you don't do that to any metro area this large.
Right.
You don't. You just don't do it. There could be some smaller areas where it's like it's a twin city, or it's this, or St. Paul, Minneapolis. That's different. That's like Dallas, Fort Worth. You could say those two words together and not keyword stuff it.
Right.
But you can't just add random cities and jump all the way across town. It's just moronic.
Yeah. I mean, it literally, if you're talking Rockwall to Trophy Club, that's literally 50 miles.
So, yeah, somebody come in and talk to us about this, and we would set their site up for the best chance of success. We would do city pages, but we wouldn't stuff the internal content with keyword stuffing of the cities.
Right. We wouldn't do one page with all cities. We would do multiple pages.
And even back when we keyword stuff because it was okay, we never were this stupid to do all this stuff.
Yeah,
like,
we never would have.
We never did that.
Because I don't think that ever would have worked.
At one time, we could do like 4 cities at a time.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
I don't know if we could have done them like.
And then it went to 3.
I don't know if we could have done them like with that much geographic distance.
And then eventually we went. It's been a 2 or 3 years. And then it was just like, it became one. at some point.
Yeah.
Unless somebody's out in Snowflake, Arizona, or someplace crazy, like there's nobody around,
Yeah.
you know, and you can put like 3 in 1 still, because there's like 3 or 4 or 5,000 people per city. We don't tend to do that much anymore at all, though. I don't remember the last time we put more than 2 cities in body content. You put your primary city in body content, flow it through from the title to the heading to, you know, of the body, and maybe twice on a repeat, but not to where it reads poorly. And then you put in city pages in your service area, and you have a availability to show up.
Right.
And then Google expands the map as they please. But you have the ability to show up in the map. You spam out your website, they're not going to show anything.
Yeah, you're never going to get anywhere. Yeah. Not even for your home city.
Not even.
Once you've entered all that, you've confused what your home city is. Even if your address is in one of the cities listed, they're looking at your site saying, which one of these do they want to show up on? None of this makes sense. They're looking at, there's a 50-mile dead zone between these.
You've made for a very poor user experience too, which they've been able to detect.
That almost sounds like somebody picked some cities that they liked the neighborhoods because of the clientele demographics.
I don't think so.
Income levels.
These are income level cities for the most part, or close to the area. I think primarily what happened was that as a weak web geek with that much skills that couldn't talk and tell the client and lead them
maybe
in the right
even
direction.
someone across the country who doesn't know the area and just looked up local cities around DFW by population
that have money.
Yeah.
Or the demographic or whatever it is, but it's just the wrong way to do it. Nolen Walker here for Roofing Webmasters. I want you to consider becoming one of our clients. We've done this for 12 years, have hundreds of clients. We help everybody with their design, their code, their content, showing up on Google as high as possible. Clients get regular call volume. If you've never experienced what I call the big show, showing up on Google organically, which is where the vast majority of the clicks occur, on your map, your reputation, your reviews, your organic keyword ranking, you owe it to yourself to try us. We even have proprietary software that we own called data pens that lets you post pictures of jobs, unique captions that increase keywords and long tail keywords, your rankings on Google, text and emailing clients about reviews, even posting pins and photos and captions back to Google. All this helps your organic rankings. Data pens is fantastic, and the work we do here at Roofing Webmasters is fantastic. Please give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. All right, so these sites need to be well done, need to be understood. And then I would even go down to like design style, photos, understanding of that stuff, how a roofing website should look.
How it should look, how it should read. I mean, just knowledge of the subject matter. We have writers that have worked for us for years. Yeah. And possibly somewhat to their regret, they've written 100 roofing sites. But they get to know the subject. Mm-hmm. They actually get a deep understanding of it. We had a guy work for us one time. I don't know if you remember this. He was having a house built while he worked for us.
Not the lasagna story.
No, not the lasagna. I wouldn't talk about that. Unless I was laughing about it. Yeah. No, this guy was a decent writer, and he was getting ready to retire. I think we were the last full-time job he had before retirement. He was having his retirement house built while he worked for us. And because of the content he was writing, learning about the subject, he went to check on the house that was being built one day after work, and he saw how they were doing it wrong. Right. And he called the contractor, and they had to start the roof over because they were basically putting it on in such a way that the first time the winds got above 40 miles an hour, it was going to fly off.
They won't clamp those the decking together and stuff. Some of the
I don't remember precisely what it was. It was like 6 years ago, but I just remember that story because he came in and he says, "Well, this job is paid off in this one way. I realized when I went by the new house that they were putting the roof on wrong, and I made him redo it."
It may not have flown off, but his roof will last longer than his neighbors will. And maybe it won't have all the ridges and everything in it from being installed properly on the decking, but who knows? I don't know. I'm sure he didn't pay for it. People just get those roofs thrown on those homes. But most of our guys, so most of the people that we work with, it's a good topic. They're not doing new home builds. Yeah. They're going to the retail market, either dealing with cash roofs or dealing with insurance companies. And case in point too, we know what Xactimate is. We know, we know things about the industry. We know that some roofers work with commercial and some don't. We know what to ask them about what commercial they do. I know enough to ask them what percentage of commercial they do to see if it's a dream or if it's something they're actually doing. We go into detail if they're a sheet metal fabricator and make some of their own metal roofs. We'll ask those questions and go into more detail in the metal section. There's just tons of little details that we know that help when it comes to build out the website. And if somebody doesn't go through this with somebody, they get a horribly designed website that's a template. The content's almost non-existent and poorly done.
Yeah.
Google doesn't have much respect for it and want to show it to people. And, I was talking to somebody the other day, and we're inexpensive compared to anybody that claims that they're high-end. And you can't show up in ranking if you're not high-end. There's too much competition.
Right.
The reason it costs more to get digital marketing done, and we ought to do a podcast about this, but it's not the most pleasing topic, but it's the reason it costs more to do it over, say, a piece of software is because software gets done one time and there's not a human being involved again. The digital marketing agency has professional services.
When you say software, what are you referring to specifically?
I'm talking about if somebody's using a cheap piece of field office software, just some software piece that costs them $100 a month, $50 for a seat.
Right.
So they're running around with 3 seats, they get $150, but their digital marketing costs more than that.
Oh, okay.
The reason it is, I'm making a point to general bad services or high quality skilled services and all the reasons it's important. The software is done once and there's no interaction with a human being again. And if they might have some technical questions, but nobody does anything again. They just pay the seat for the software and it gets updated. Lots of people buy it.
Right.
When somebody has professional services for their digital marketing services for a roofer, they're constantly having a professional hand work on everything because of the many and varied and quick changes to SEO and digital marketing that continue to build up. And it baffles even me that it hasn't gotten any more automated, but automation kills marketing.
Yeah.
So the skilled level of people working on it is vital, and you paying anything or something to have skilled labor is vital. And I will always like to say that just because you paid, unfortunately, there's so many bad people in digital marketing that can't do a job that are trying to get a monthly check.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're going to get good work. But you can get good work, and you actually need skilled labor performed regularly.
But you definitely won't get good work if you pay nothing, or almost nothing.
Yeah. So you need someone skilled in the area, and you need someone that's going to work on it regularly. Because all this stuff is a lot of what we're talking about is just initial setup stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, we're gonna do one about that here in just a second, about how one thing won't just rocket you to the top of search engines.
Yeah.
You have to have a couple of things going and different signals coming into Google. You can't just throw up a website and then have it go stagnant. So that's the other part. But I think that's enough on that topic. I don't want to beat it to death, but it's a good example of why we specialize and what it meant over time. And we specifically did not go general, and partially because of stuff like this. There were some reasons why. We like categories, right? We like working with a roofer, but we like staying in a specialty. And when you start getting off into one, if it gets too outside of your norm, you just basically don't do a good job. Yeah. We can get off into contractor-related areas that
even if it's an agency that knows technically what they're doing, as rare as that is, even if you have somebody that's technically on the ball and knows how to do SEO and marketing properly. If they don't know your industry, they're at a disadvantage.
If they hear the word PVC and their brain says PPC roofing, there's a problem. But on the other level, just before we end up, I'll say this: most of you guys, like 90+%, have poor quality content, shallow content, not done well, and the website's never worked on. So that's like people say, "Oh, take a look at my stuff." It's like you have a generic website, done poorly, poor code base. Almost no content or shallow content or copied content. If you have a ton of content, it's probably copied or AI generated.
Yeah.
And
so much of that now.
Yeah, so that's all of those things are bad, and then it's thrown up there and almost never worked on.
Yeah.
And you pay somebody or you don't pay somebody, and even if you pay somebody, they probably almost never work on it.
And don't be fooled just because your website looks good.
Yeah.
Because Looks good is great, but that's not what really counts. And I mean, I can't count the number of times that you've had someone, potential client on the phone.
We like our site.
And we like our site. It's gorgeous. Yeah. And we look at it, hey, it looks nice. And then I go look, and I was like, oh, this is a $60 template off of this website.
Right.
And they're like, they told me it was custom designed.
It's customized from the template.
We had someone, we had a potential client once that wanted us to, that after we told them that it was, oh yeah, it's right here in the source code. It's so-and-so theme. It's from this website. It's a purchased WordPress theme. They wanted us to testify that they'd been lied to. And we're like, no, we are not getting into someone else's lawsuit.
Yeah, no, that's happened many times actually. And
really?
I'm always like, no, we're not doing that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
we're sitting here trying to make websites and help people optimize, man. All right, guys, if you like and subscribe, we'd appreciate it, and we'd love to be a service. If you want us to take a look at your website, we're happy to do so. Anybody listening to this granular stuff is getting educated and on the right track. If you view your company as a digital brand and how the signaling hits Google, you're going to be a whole lot closer to optimizing online. We'd love to be the company to help you with it. We'll help you with most of those signals, actually. Give us a call when you're ready. We'll see you.
Take it easy.